grabbing Death Touch there. And we'll draw 2 cards. Casting these flash main phase, but that's fine. Ooh, we should have held that land. Whoops! Sorry. Cover your eyes. Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today we're at Mythic 99%, clawing our way back into the top 1500. We had a couple really rough days. Our computer crashed, and then we got absolutely roasted when we tried to step back into the Mythic meta. Today is the complete opposite of that, though. We have a 100% win rate, 6-0 deck. Black Lightning does not even begin to describe the deck. So let's take a look at it here. Of course, we'll give you a quick overview of the deck and then a deep dive as to how everything works together to get you guys playing the deck as efficiently as possible so you can be winning games as well. If you don't care for any of that, of course, there's the chapters. You can skip ahead right to the gameplay footage if you choose. Of course, if you do find any value within the video, please give it a thumbs up. That's a great way to help the channel. Subscribe for more content, of course, as well. Black Lightning is a mono black deck that focuses around Flash. Flash is really, really good when it comes to aggro style decks, which this happens to be. So we're looking to flood the field with creatures, put out, just a massive amount of damage as quickly as possible while holding key components to refill our hand, protect us from wipes, and maybe open up some attacking lanes for a little bit of removal. So that's the general strategy, is go wide and bash your opponent, very similar to most aggro style decks. Now let's get into the goods here. We have 4 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst. I talked a little bit about having a removal to open up your attacking lanes. This is exactly that. We are not looking to remove everything that our opponent plays, just those key components. So, typically this will be an engine that we're looking to remove, or a planeswalker, because basically every planeswalker is an engine. It can do something every turn of positive value. Draw engines are of utmost importance, because if your opponent can just draw every turn and you're using your removal on other things that aren't the draw engine, they're going to outvalue you within card advantage in just a few turns. So you really need to prioritize any removal within the deck onto your opponent's engines, whether it be a draw engine, a creature engine, something like this, even maybe potentially a life gain engine, because we are an aggro deck. So, you're prioritizing stuff that draws, stuff that gains life, stuff that makes creatures, as a general rule of thumb with any removal in this deck. So Bloodchief's Thirst, destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. Edgewell Innkeeper's a great example of an early game draw engine that Bloodchief's Thirst picks off immediately. Something that you cannot allow to stay in play. And then also you can kick it for an additional 3, so it would actually cost 4 then, to destroy any creature or planeswalker, non-dependent on their mana cost. So, this is where we get into destroying some of those planeswalkers. Maybe it's a Vivian that's making 3/3s every turn, something like this, that we can still deal with, still keep our attacking lanes open and get in as much damage as possible, and hopefully maybe even kill that planeswalker, if that happens to be the case. Moving on, 4 copies of Foulmire Knight, another really early game interaction that can be played on turn 1 or turn 2, much like the Bloodchief's Thirst, but it can also be played later on in turn 4 or turn 5. Profane Insight for 3, instant speed, which is quite nice because we're using a flash-based deck, so we're trying to cast the majority of our spells on our opponent's turn. You draw a card, you lose 1 life. That's great. It just replaces itself. If you're drawing this as your 7th card and you already have lots of land, you're top decking, what a great card. It's better than a land. It's better than a 1/1 because it draws a card and then it's a 1/1. Plus it has Death Touch, so it's a form of passive removal. Your opponent's not going to want to attack with their big baddie if you have Death Touch, so it kind of slows things down. And better yet, they don't want to defend it either, so it allows it consistent chip damage, pushing them further and further into the corner. Moving forward, we have 2 copies of Thieves Guild Enforcer. This is a 1/1 with Flash. We're not running 4 copies here. It's just to fill the deck. It fits really good. It's a light drop, and it can have huge consequences, both early game and late game. Early game, it's just a creature to set the pace. but it does come online once our opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, and then it will get +2/+1 and Death Touch. So, if it can be in play and survive that long, great. If it's, takes a trade with your opponent, that's fine too, to keep our attacking lanes open. So, we're not dependent upon this card. It's just kind of a filler that fits in quite nicely. Into our 2-drops now, we have 4 copies of the Skyclave Shade. This is one of the key components for consistency's sake in the deck. It has so many uses. A 3/1 kicker for 3, so a total of 5. It cannot block, and if it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2 additional +1s, so it'll be a 5/3, which is very, very good. Better than that still, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we can play the Shade from our grave, which is just incredible. So they need to exile this. If they don't exile it, they counter it. Their counter goes to the grave. Our Shade goes to the grave. We play a land, Shade comes back, we replay it while their counter is still in the grave. So we can gain virtual card advantage by, trading with blockers, with the Shade, pulling their removal with it as well. So very cool. Plus, we're going to get into some further synergy in a second. I guess we'll jump right to it, actually, is the Mardu Outrider. This is a best of 1 card. Obviously, we're playing a best of 1 deck, a 5/5, and as an additional cost to cast this spell, we have to discard a card. Typically, we will discard our Shade, again, because we can replay it from the graveyard. We can also replay our Demonic Embrace from the graveyard, so if we don't have a Shade to discard, our Demonic Embrace is our second discard option for Mardu Outrider, again, because we really lose no advantage here because we're replaying these cards from the grave. Moving on, though, we've got 4 copies of the Blacklance Paragon, another creature with flash. When it enters the battlefield, target knight gains Death Touch and lifelink until end of turn. It can target itself. It can also target our Foulmire Knight. It can target, our Murderous Rider, which we have yet to talk about as well. So there's a few different knights in the deck that you can give Death Touch to, lifelink to. Obviously, the Foulmire Knight already has Death Touch. The Murderous Rider already has life gain, and the Blacklance Paragon has neither. So you're best off to put it on the Paragon, but there are certain, opportunities or examples or situations that, you may need to put the Death Touch on the Rider or the life gain on the Knight. Typically, the life gain is probably better off to go onto the Paragon, unless, you're attacking, in which case, the Paragon can't get any life gain because, it's not defending, it's got Summoning Sickness, so it can't attack. And, maybe that life gain on the Foulmire Knight can do something for you, but that's going to be super rare, probably never happened to you. What you may need to do is the Death Touch on the Rider, but probably 60% of the time, if not 75 plus, just putting both of it on the Blacklance Paragon, which is pretty cool. So, not only is it an aggro creature, it's a 3/1, gets big damage in. It can also sustain us with life gain. It can also be used as a form of passive removal through the Flash Death Touch, which is very, very good. And so moving on, 4 copies of Liliana's Standard Bearer. Now, this is our first 3-drop that we're really breaking down here. A 3/1 also with Flash, which again is just absolutely perfect. Your opponent has extinction events, any forms of removal. We're playing in after the fact, so we still are putting pressure on them every single turn. And this is a card, when I seen come out, I thought it was going to be used immediately. We used to have some other knight that when something died, we take chip damage and draw. Now we have this, and I actually prefer this because it doesn't have to be in play. It doesn't get wiped with it, so you still have an attacker. Plus, you still draw cards, and now you don't take damage from when those creatures are dying as well. I forget the name of it, but when it enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. So, if we do see a Shatter of the Sky, even a few targets of single removal, we can play this. If you're drawing a single card, great, replaces itself. If you're drawing 2, better yet, and 3 or more, that's probably going to be enough to win the game, because chances are they spent all of their mana on a wipe. Now you get a 3/1 out to be attacking, plus you refilled your hand. Very, very good stuff. We talked about the Demonic Embrace. This is one of our greatest forms of aggro in the deck. We have to put it on a creature, of course, but the creature will get +3/+3, or +3/+1, and flying. It becomes a demon, but that's irrelevant, only if they have a Baneslayer Angel, I guess, right? So, we're getting things up in the air above their blockers, right? So we can prioritize our removal on their engines, maybe even something with reach, because our Embrace has flying, and, putting it on a Shade, a Paragon, is absolutely great. What's even better, though, is putting it onto our Mardu Outrider, which we already talked about. That's going to make it an 8/6. Those are big hits, right? Nothing to be taken lightly. And if they don't have removal, it's only going to take a few turns to kill them. So, that's our biggest damage output combo. But, at the end of the day, the Demonic Embrace can go on anything to get it in the air attacking. Murderous Rider is great. It has removal as Swift End for 3 at instant speed, destroying target creature or planeswalker, losing 2 life. A little bit of removal is great. Creatures or planeswalkers is better yet. And then, it's a 2/3 with life gain whenever it dies bottom of the library. So, we can put the Embrace on this if we're lacking life, because then it becomes a 5/4 with life gain, which, is fairly good to gain 5 life and deal 5 damage every turn. Will win you the game in less than 4 turns normally. So good stuff there. Agadeem's Awakening and the Undercrypt. Crypt comes in tapped unless you pay 3 life. The Awakening for 3 plus X will bring in creatures from our graveyard, with different converted mana costs of X or less. So if we cast it for 6, we can take a 1, 2, and a 3. If we cast it for 7, we can take a 1, 2, a 3, and a 4, which is a potential within the deck, but just be aware of what's in your graveyard. And late game, this is great. Replayability of lots of stuff. Early game, it can be played as a land. Just makes things very smooth. One of our 4 drops that we can pull with the Awakening potentially is Rankle, Master of Pranks, a 3/3 with flying and haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, choose any number. Each player discards a card. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Each player sacrifices a creature. And then, of course, 2 copies of Hagra Mauling and Hagra Broadpit coming in tapped. And then at instant speed for 4, 1 less to cast if they have no basic lands, destroying target creatures. So a little bit of more removal, and again, more land to just smooth everything over, make it very, very friendly. 3 Castle Locthwains in which we can tap for 4, drawing a card, then losing life equal to the number of cards in our hand. And 16 Swamps, so very light. And of course, that's why we have the MDFCs to, fill the gap there, and it makes it very, very fun in best of 1. We are sitting at an average 2.4 mana cost, and things are very aggressive here. As far as strategies and synergies that I've not covered, it's the basics. It's put your Embrace on a creature, make it big, huge, hold your Standard Bearer until they remove stuff so you don't lose card advantage. And just smash, smash, smash. Rankle in play. Rankle can have the sacrifice of a creature on the Shade. Shade gets sacked, you can replay it, and that's how you're going to remove their creatures as well. So really cool stuff here. And again, today we are playing with a 100% win rate. Really, really cool stuff. We had 2 test matches in the play queue, and then 4-0 within Mythic. So really cool stuff. And, one of my favorite decks that I've made this week, Black Lightning. I think the name is fitting. Again, if you found any value, please like the video, share the channel to a friend, and subscribe for more content. If you've not seen my How Ugin Players Fall Asleep video, check that out. And again, thanks for watching. Take care, enjoy the video, and we'll see you with some wrap-up thoughts. We go first. I like it. We're just gonna ride our curve up. Typically, I only draw with the Profane Insight if it's later in game. If it's early game, I just get the body in play. Pretty cold out today. Maya's not impressed. Like, turn my fireplace on. Quit recording. Can't have the fireplace on while we record it. It gives a background annoyance. Our opponent is taking their time. Right? Oh wow. That's a green source. Take this immediately. That means this can come in without us paying life. And we take our hit. You gotta get rid of the Edgewell Innkeeper, right? You can't have that in play. Draw engine? All draw engines must go. Right, Maya? So I think we play the Shade. They're not doing anything with one green source. I bet this comes in as a mountain, right? Sacking the passage here. It's going to be the tell-all. What deck are we facing? There we have the mountain. It is Rule Adventure. Ooh, sorry, I threw up a little bit in my mouth there. And then I got the shivers. One after another, that's not good. I'm just having fun. That's a Brushfire Elemental. You know, we can smash that. Grab some life as well, so. Totally fine by us. Can't block here, actually, which is fine, but then I can deal 4 damage again. They're going for it. Hit for 5. Woof. I mean, let's just kill it. Okay. Bango, bango, bongo. And we lose our life, draw a card. We discard a card, and we sack a creature. Throwing the swamp when we're going to discard the shade sucks, but I think we'll draw another land. Right, the chances of that are good. Already built up. Oh, I don't know what that even is. It certainly is loud, though. I hear that through my headphones. We're going to sack the shade. We didn't get a land, but double dropping a Paragon is pretty neat. And I hope that that stays quiet. Da-da-da-da. You guys have the same ringtone? Let me know. Just comment 1,000 times. Use my comment section as your daily journal, you guys. Come on, how was your day? Let me know. Everything okay at work? Family life all right? Venus already has Death Touch. And we can just like smash in for a bunch of damage or what? Da, 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 da. I don't want that land. But we should hold this up in case there's room. The double drop's more valuable. This keeps them away from dropping a henge, so I'm just going to take that right now. Right? Cool draw, Rankle. Because we don't want them to play a henge and then play a creature, and then it's like life gain creature, life gain creatures. Ooh. Gets to be a lot, right? So let's just keep them oppressed, keep our, you know, hands on their neck. Quit playing creatures. I don't. Did you guys see my meme video? If you've not watched my last meme video, search for it on my channel. I'll label it. You can search it maybe a little bit better. Called the Ugin Prayer. How Ugin players fall asleep at night. They do have the removal. They take 2 damage, which is fine. But that's fine. We're sitting on 4. We could go to 5. Don't think it matters. They can't kill this. Let's get that shade. We've been wanting to do that for a while. And then we still just gonna push our objective. It's a stupid trade, but at the end of the day, get out of there. That's fine. You have 4 mana, you have 4 life, and you have 4 cards. It'd be cool if there's 4 cards in their graveyard too. And somehow only 4 cards in their library. Maybe 40. Those numbers don't make sense though. Maybe they played with... No, you have to have 60 cards, don't you? You can't enter a match with less than 60. Play with a limited deck in Standard, a 40-card deck. Just be slanging those burn spells, baby. That'd be cool. I'm pretty sure you have to have 60 as a minimum. 61 for good luck. Everybody knows this. I went through a phase of like 61 cards all the time. So did I get the bash? Again, it's better than being on the Paragon. Elemental with haste. That's interesting. Do they hit us for 5? That'd be crazy. It would have to be a passage, of course. Bleak Blue Blop. Plenty of life gain on our end, so that's fine. They're wondering if they should take it and then play the passage and cleave us, which would be like real good, right? There has to be a land here, or like, why would it be hung up if there's no land? Unless they're in full control roping me. Or I guess they're waiting to go to their attack phase. There is a land. They push it up, they hit the tree. Rock and roll. Round 2, we're 7. We have 2 bodies to throw out. Innkeeper's fine. And then the Giant's fine. They're drawing for a passage, I guess. Which doesn't matter, we still block it, kill it, and gain life. If they can't... we have to kill this. That's good. Even if it's a stomp, we have 2 of them. Right, they have to do the lands now. We'll play 2 of them, so it doesn't matter. You think they pull a Giant? Should we have double block? Our opponent has to block. Still a Knight. Grabbing Death Touch there. And we'll draw 2 cards. Casting these flash main phase, but yeah, that's fine. Ooh, we should have held that land. Whoops! Sorry. Cover your eyes. Oh man, I love it. 2 cards in hand, 2 life. 13 in the grave, 39 attack. We've got removal. Oh! Nice. We've sorcery. Oh my gosh. I believe in you, Shade. You go get him. You go get him. Get him so good, Shade. I believe in you. The best top deck of all. The one that comes from your graveyard. right? Look at this win rate in Mythic. Woohoo! All right, a little light on land. I'll take that third, please. I think we just play this as a death touch. We're discarding our shade. We can play one of them. We need this third land. Could be rogues. Two off the top. We get the third in hand. First shade in play. And I will trade with this Enforcer. I don't mind at all. Right, we get the damage. That's totally fine. Da 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 da. What's the hold up, bro? Come on. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. Don't be shy. Well, how many dogs? Well, how do you want me to answer that? I just told you how many dogs. Can you hear the dogs? They're barking. Roast beef. Do you guys know the CKY prank phone calls? Those just crack me up. Did they just skip their turn? Let's take our attack first. We picked up a third shade, which is crazy good. They passed their turn pretty quickly there. Is there a counter spell? I can only assume. Toss the shade. There is the counter there, yeah, okay. It's like a 2-for-1 basically. They're happy with that. So we should have played the land after, I guess. No, that wouldn't have changed anything, actually. So they take the attack, whatever. Oof. We already have one in the grave. Maybe we should have kept that land. That's fine. We'll top deck one. Right, who doesn't draw land? We have a 31.3% chance to draw land and a 68.8% chance to draw a non-land. Those numbers don't add up, but we'll pretend they do. It's all about that extra 0.0 or 0.1%. They're spending their whole turn to the grave. Interesting. Interesting. If they're tapped, if we pick up another Embrace at 6.2%, we win. We should be able to go wide. Like, that's an expensive spell. Right? Skyclave Shades for MVP. They've got their 5 lands, so they can definitely snag it. Stays tapped. It's got Summoning Sickness. And we go wide. We're on a tear, without a doubt. All right, 3 land looks pretty nice, and we have a shade to discard with our Outrider. I think this could be semi-successful. Maybe we play it? It's Gruel. Let's play it, actually. We can discard our 4th land. This pulls its removal. Right? So if they spend removal on it, their removal goes to the grave. Our Shade goes to the grave, but it actually comes back when we play our next land. And if we can continuously have that conversion, that's really good. So we can thirst that easily. Toss our 4th land. Hit for 3 because we can't block. The Outrider can block, and against mono red, that's like only a few cards will deal with that. They could deal 3 damage. That's fine. We could have left it and Bloodchief's thirst it, but we gotta get rid of the removal one way or the other, right? Oh, Maya. What are you up to? Going for a little stroll, eh? So that's a misplay! Misplay! Feels wild when I misplay. That's fine, though. Hey, Maya. If we don't know what we're doing, then how can they know what we're doing? That's so sad. Alright, they doubled down, but we'll just remove that with ease. Hitting for 5 here, getting 2 life, back to 20, and they're down to 9. So. More 7 dwarfs, really. That's interesting. I don't even mind. Bloodchief's Thirst is so good. Like, unbearably so. I mean, good on them. That's courage, playing 7 dwarfs in Mythic. Are you insane, sir? We just have lethal. Woof. Right, there's no need to give them any life gain out of the interaction, so we have evasion through flying. Alright, we can probably keep this. 3 land looks nice. I mean, we have wipe protection, or removal protection. You know, we're not seeing many hard wipes these days. It's more exiles, which is... It's a hard time to be an aggro deck, but, you know, we're out here. We're doing our best still. Representing. We have no 1-drop, so we can come in slow. This is gonna be Jangotha. What? Sacrifice? What's going on here? Wave removal and life gain. Party, Mardu Party, I think. They get 2 Liliana standard bearers. We get the life. That's great. Let's go Rider, toss Awakening. We could toss the Embrace, but that leads to a double discard. We only really need 3 land here. I really want to. Woo! That's a big hit, baby. They could remove this, and that's real bad for us, right? Because we're stacking stuff instead of going wide. But we'll see. I'll risk it. Nope. Woo! Not quite a Rotting Regisaur, but, you know, still pretty impressive. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back, and thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game again. The video has been brought to you by Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant. Download that for free in the Overwolf link in the description below. Lots of cool goodies involved there. Of course, we can help you in the Discord. There's gem giveaways, cash prize tournaments, so much more going on in the Discord. Join for that. Subscribe to the channel. Like every single video you see. Watch them all. Let the playlists just run, right, for hours. They need a little army of video viewers. So, you know, what did you guys think of the deck? Let's get serious for a second. Black Lightning. What a good name for a mono black flash deck, right? This is nice, and it actually, you know, performs fairly well as. So I liked it. Let me know what you guys think. What would you change up? Leave it in the comments below. Make sure to share to a friend. All that jazz. Again, thank you, and we'll see you soon in the next video.